Hey guys, got a little something different today. I know it's been a while since I've put up a video. It's for various reasons that don't necessarily have any validity to them. But I kind of thought I'd just do something that I think a lot of people can relate to. I think any of us that are kind of into cars or, really anything, we will sit down and scroll through Facebook Marketplace, every once in a while. It's a Saturday morning here for me. I'm just kind of was just looking at some stuff, and I started reading some of the descriptions, and I'm just kind of laughing, and so I thought, you know what, let's just kind of do this together. So let's get started, okay? All right, so I basically just opened up Marketplace and I just selected vehicles as a category. So it's just showing me whatever is going to come up. I imagine that some of this is probably based off of things that I've searched for in the past, but I'm not really sure. There's no parameters in here right now. I think I'm just going to kind of scroll through and just pick a couple random ones here that look, you know, kind of interesting. But we're going to just see what we see. Now, for starters, I already see two that are just clear scams right off the bat. So I don't know. Hopefully, this video can help some people, maybe kind of know how to spot scams like right away. So let's just go ahead right here, and there's two on this page that are kind of jumping out at me, and they're basically this Highlander right here and this F-150 down here. Now, this is a 2004 F-150, and this is a 2010 Highlander. So they're both older vehicles, but it doesn't mean that they are worth $1,000. I'm going to go ahead and click on the Highlander first. What kind of stood out to me is the image. Like, this image is kind of fuzzy, and I don't know what it is, but they always seem to have this look to them. I think they just like screenshot someone else's photo and put it up. There's only four images, and it's always like really kind of pristine and perfect. It's not your typical $1,000 beater. And this one there's a plate back there. It's got a big old trailer hitch on it, but there's only the four pictures. And then you come over here in the description. It says, for sale, low price, 2010 Toyota Highlander, all-wheel drive, four-door SUV, V6 natural aspiration. And there's a little check mark. Full price, $1,000. Runs and drives great, motor and transmission 100%. 3.5 liter, power, clean inside and out. New brakes along with newer tires. Heat and AC work great. Clean and clear title in hand. Serious inquiries only. Thank you. It was just serviced 3 days ago. New tires, tags, up to date, etc. Low miles, 87,510 only. No issues, just ready to go. I have to sell as soon as possible. No accidents. Runs absolutely perfect. Okay. I mean, this is, to me, I can just look at this as being a red flag, as many red flags. The only thing that it doesn't have so far is there's no like, oh, I'm selling this for a friend, please contact her, and there's a phone number or whatever, something like that, or there's an email address or something like that. Look, I'm currently a Lexus master technician of about a few months, but I have, 14 years plus experience working on Toyotas and being a technician. And I can tell you right now, you are not buying this vehicle for $1,000. This vehicle right here, if it only has 87,000, it's a V6, it's all-wheel drive. I mean, I would think $10,000 would be the minimum that you would expect to pay for this Highlander right here in this kind of condition. So this is absolutely a scam. This is someone, I'm guessing that they just want to collect that $1,000 from people real quick and then just disappear and vanish. That's my guess. I don't know. Anyway, moving on. I'm going to look at this one here. This 2004. See, same thing. It's a very fuzzy picture. They just like blew it up from like a phone screenshot or thumbnail or something. It says, selling my 2004 F-150 Lariat, ready to drive, in great condition. It's been a reliable truck and has never let me down. I'm just looking to upgrade. So it's time to let this one go. And then, it'll have a picture of a mom with her kids, so it looks real, legit. Or it's like, she's, hey, look, it's over 20 years old. She's just ready to let it go. That's, you're not, even an F-150 that's 21 years old, that's in this type of condition. I mean, the rims alone are worth $1,000. Ain't no way. So what I'm saying is, just kind of look out for little things like that. Like the ones that are just way too good to be true. Okay. So we got this one here, $1,000 for a 2017 Mini Clubman Cooper hatchback 4-door. It says it has 94,000 miles. Now look, I'm a BMW guy too. We know BMWs depreciate really fast, and minis are like even worse. They have all of the terrible engineering of the like 4-cylinder BMW engines, but they're in a really small, tightly packed in package. So doing anything on these cars is even harder than on a normal BMW. So you're like, okay, well, maybe that's legit. So let's just take a look at this one and see what we get. Okay, this is at a car lot. I think it says Spectrum Auto Sales. This was in Quantico, Virginia. Over here, seller description, internet price, $94.95. So where did the $1,000 go? Financing options available. And then you get the address. So yeah, there you go right there. And then there's just some random chick that's supposedly selling it, even though it's a dealer. Whatever. But there you go. They put $1,000 up just as clickbait. I should just kind of title this video like, how long do you have to search to find a legitimate car? All right, let's look at this one. This seems like this could be legitimate. A 2005 Ford Taurus, 128,000 miles, $1,500. Of course, the first picture they have is of the interior because people don't know how to arrange their photos. All right. It looks like about what you'd expect from a 05 Ford Taurus. Certainly doesn't look too bad. Looks like something anybody buying a $1,500 car could live with. Let's see. What does the description say first? 2005 Ford Taurus. Runs and drives good. Heat works. Clean title. Has engine light on, but gets you around no problem. No punctuation. Could be worse, but So yeah, legit. Seems kind of normal. And this was in PA, yeah, wherever that is, Marion Station, PA. I used to always kind of have a thing for the Ford Taurus. My first car was a 94 Mercury Sable. And I had that car for, 4 years or so. And I can't really say that I loved it, but it was a lot of car for the money at the time. It was, like a 5-year-old car that I think, we paid like $5,000 for it. It had about 80,000 miles, and it pretty much immediately had a bad transmission. I had to have the transmission rebuilt at some point during that time period. But over the years, I've had a few other, I think they were all Tauruses. I had a 96 Taurus, the really, I think we kind of used to call them a Tylenol pill in that 90s green color. And that was actually a pretty good car. That was the only car that I ever have been in an accident in. That car was totaled with me driving it with my mom and my brother in the car to, I think we were going to Ryan's for dinner. And turned left at a light, guy ran a red light and slammed into us, pushed into a ditch. Anyway, I've had a few Tauruses over the years. So like they're, I have kind of a love-hate relationship. They were, very mediocre at best, in the 90s and 2000s, I would say. Probably normal for the time for your typical vehicle, but really just kind of poor overall build quality. But this one, I think this is probably a legitimate car that someone could buy. The only thing is it does not have a tag on it. I always am really hesitant of the vehicles that you see that don't have plates on them. It does say it has a clean title. It says it has a check engine light on, but it says it runs and drives. I think it would be a decent one. It's been listed for 3 days. Not like it's been a year or something crazy like that. So it's possible. Right here, we have a 2017 Buick Envision, 1 owners in Baltimore, Maryland for $900. No way. I don't care how terrible of a car it is. Not for $1,000. So what's this one? Excellent condition, low miles, fully loaded, leather seats, Apple CarPlay, backup camera, blind spot monitor, 1 owners. The vehicle is paid off, clean title. And some, Cody Parker, I don't know, some another family picture. Probably a hijacked account is my guess. But you're not getting this car for $1,000 or $900. Not really sure what that is there. Probably another deal where you just, they're going to try to scam you out of $900 and disappear. You got a 2014 Honda Accord EXL. EXL means that it has leather seats, if I remember correctly. Although looking at those wheels, I wouldn't think that was an EX, but I don't know. I'm not a Honda guy. Before I started working on Toyota, I looked at Hondas, favorably, I would say. And I'm not going to say they're bad cars by any means, but it's like a Ford versus Chevy thing with me. It's like I'm a Toyota guy. I just, no. Hondas, no. Not doing it. 2014 Honda Accord, valued at $3,000, is available for purchase. The vehicle is in excellent condition, has 115,000 miles, and comes with a clean title. A down payment is required to secure the vehicle with a $500 deposit accepted. I've recently acquired a new vehicle and need to free up space. Weekly payment plans are available. With a contract agreement in place requiring $500 installments, please note that a down payment is mandatory to reserve the car on a first-come, first-served basis. Flexible payment arrangements can be made for those requiring assistance. No. There's no picture. Join Facebook in 2024. They're a little rusty. They're not trying to hijack someone else's account that's been around for 20 years. If you are a person selling your car, I don't know anyone in their right mind that would allow someone to pay weekly. Like that's not going to work. What leverage do you have when they take the car, take the title, and get it registered in their name? I mean, I guess you could sign up a document and everything and be like a legal binding contract like they're saying, but who would ever do this? Like they're saying it's $3,000, but they're asking twice in this listing for a $500 deposit. So basically, they're trying to scam as many people as they can out of $500 and then just ghost them with when they want to try to actually come and find the car. I'm pretty sure they would just really hustle you for that $500. Say, oh, look, I've got 6 other people that are texting me right now to try to get this car. Maybe sometime I'll sit down and actually text these people and see what kind of responses we get. That would probably be a good idea. Problem is, it's only 7 a.m. right now. I don't think that many people are going to be awake, so we're not going to do that in this video. But yeah, this one, I think that's what that is. Again, kind of fuzzy pictures, although they're blocking out the tag, which I guess means it has a tag. but ain't their tag. This one has a lot of pictures. They're a little better quality, but they're definitely a little bit fuzzy, I feel like. I could be wrong. All right, so this right here, I would say, is legitimate. I mean, this is a 2001 Avalon with almost 250,000 miles on it. I can clearly see a big dent in the door, and they're asking $2,000 for it. So this seems to me like it would have to be at least legitimate. Runs and drives good. Come check it out. Needs windshield. Asking $19.99 or best offer. 90-day temp tag included. Open 7 days a week. Okay, so I guess it's a shop or a dealer of some kind. So I mean, this is probably legitimate. I mean, this thing has no paint on it. It's got a Stratus tire. I've never even heard of that one. But you know what, though? This is probably legitimate. And these are some of the toughest cars I have ever seen. These cars will run forever. When I worked at Toyota, there was a customer that had this body style. I think it was a 2002. And I'm pretty sure the last time I worked on the car, it was over 500,000 miles. We had several of the Camrys of the 90s, like 97 to 2001 Camrys with over 500,000 miles, usually with the 4-cylinder engine. But it doesn't matter. The V6 was just as good. Both of them are non-interference engines, so if the timing belt breaks, you can just put a new belt on and off you go. Yeah, this thing, you go to the junkyard, get a new door, you take it to Maaco. So for about $3,000, you can tag this historic in Maryland. For about $3,000, you have a car that you could keep going for another 10 or 15 years. Really no problem. It's not going to be pretty. You're not going to be riding in style, but, guess what? At the end of the day, who cares? Here we just have $1,000. Very fuzzy picture. 2002 Ford F-150 Triton 5.4 V8 XLT. Yeah, you can even see. Look at the arrows here in the image. They didn't even try to screenshot that out. So they're clearly screenshotted photos. Yeah, I'm sorry. No, you're not buying this truck for $1,000. I don't care what year it is. This truck right here is from Texas. It has no rust. What does it say? Always kept in garage, no rust, no dents, original paint, no accidents, and clean title without any liens or encumbrances. This right here, if you see this in any listing, walk away. I don't know what it is, but whenever I see this, I know it's a scammer. Obviously, we already know that it is. And some of them are a little bit smarter than others. A lot of people, even a rational person who maybe isn't necessarily always on Facebook Marketplace, like my loser ass, but someone who is legitimately okay, you know what? I need a truck. And they go on here and they see this okay, look, it's a 2002. Right now we're in 2025. It's 23 years old. So if you're not someone who really looks for these kind of things all the time, you might be like, well, okay, I guess. I mean, maybe I just got lucky. It's funny. It doesn't say anything. It doesn't say how many miles it has. It doesn't say where it is. More red flags. It does say right over here it's in Alexandria, Virginia. Location is approximate. But yeah, no, this absolutely 100% is a scam. They're looking to get money from you and disappear. I mean, this truck is this picture was probably taken 15 to 20 years ago. I haven't seen one of these trucks look this good for a long time. Again, no plate on it. I mean, even the exhaust doesn't look at all rusty. I mean, all this is just pristine. Oh, you know what? This is not even the right interior for this truck. No. This is like a 2015 F-150 dash right here. Look at this. Okay, yeah. So there you go. Another total scam. Don't fall for it, guys and ladies. All right, here we go. This could be legit right here. I actually just had one of these the other day. I used to own one of these. 2004 Lexus ES 330, 270,000 miles. So it's about broken in. Not quite there yet. This is a little bit of a fuzzy picture, but I mean, the price and the miles, it kind of lines up as to being something that I might believe. Actually, this looks just like the one I used to have too. Same color and everything. Same wheels. It's got a little rust back here by the tail light. Do we have any? Yeah, interior's not too bad. Might have had a black interior, much nicer, and actually had the nav in it. What we got over here? It says vehicle runs and drives very good, no mechanical issues, clean title. You know, it's a very poor description. I'm looking at the name. It says Marty Brides. Yes, 3 out of 14 stars, or yeah, 3 out of 5 stars based on 14 ratings. There we go. Let's see. This one, they said, okay, they are so caring to wait for me. 5 stars. But this one, worst experience I ever had. Asked to hear the engine running, and he told me to look at a vehicle somewhere else. Do not buy a vehicle from this person unless you want to break down on the side of the road on the way home. I mean, he actually responded. He says, what did he say? You actually have to come to see the vehicle to hear the engine running, not online trolling. Okay. It's a fair point. You know, but like if this guy is an hour or two away, I would like to hear the engine running. It's not that complicated to record a 10-second video and send it to somebody. This one just says very bad car and 7 likes, nothing else. This person doesn't answer questions specific to the car they are selling. Huge red flag, stay away. 8 likes. Had me drive 4 hours for nothing just to not answer. Yeah, see, this is the problem right here. I have never gone this far for anything on Marketplace, but I have tried to go, an hour and a half before for something. It wasn't a car. It was, I think I was buying an engine for something. And like a small engine, like a riding lawnmower. And the guy was communicating with me in the morning before I left. And then as soon as I got there, he just totally ghosted me. Like he just would not respond. And then after I get all the way back home, like the next morning or something, he was like, "Oh, I'm sorry. I had to go to work." And I'm just like, why didn't you tell me that? I told you I was coming. If I remember, I actually did eventually meet up with that guy again because I had to go out that way for something else. And I did actually get the engine. So it did work out in the end. So it was legit. Anyway, went off on a tangent. All right, this one says, this looks like a female here. She says, attitude problems. And then we just have a couple random, I guess those people didn't ask to hear the engine run. 1 star, nothing else. A whole bunch of 5 stars. Anyway, so yeah, I mean, this is probably a legitimate car and a legitimate price. But it looks like the person may be a little bit sketched themselves. So if you catch them on a good day, you might be okay. But these cars really, they'll keep going. They may not have every single thing working. They may have some clunks and rattles. They may have all this with this kind of miles on it. But it's a 2004. You could tag this historic in Maryland at this point. Not that you're supposed to do that to drive as a daily, but look, I see them all the time. I have at least probably 5 techs in my shop that their daily driver has historic tags on it. So take that for what you will. Here I got a 2007 Toyota FJ Cruiser. It's got some, I'm not sure what those wheels are. I don't really like the FJ Cruiser, to be honest with you. I don't like these, even though I do like suicide doors like on my Studebaker, I don't like them on something like this, like a, the original Toyota Tundra, like extended cab that had the rear opening door. I just feel like that makes the truck seem cheaper than it would just have like 4 normal doors. One thing I notice about this right off the bat is it has mismatched tires, which is really not particularly great for something like this. This looks like a BF Goodrich KO2 up here. I don't know what this one is. I think it is a BF Goodrich, but it's a different looking sidewall at least. 131K. It looks pretty clean. It's got, I guess I didn't know these things had leather seats ever. They're showing the tread depth. We got 10 or 11, 30 seconds. I mean, it's a decent truck. What do they say here? 2007 TRD FJ Cruiser. I don't think there was a TRD FJ Cruiser. I think they just got some of these wheels. I don't know. I can't think of what these are off of. But these are not FJ Cruiser wheels, especially not 2007 FJ Cruiser wheels. I don't know. Four-wheel drive. I don't think any of these were not four-wheel drive. Rear diff lock, backup, parking sensor, rare leather heated seats. Yeah, I was going to say, I didn't think I saw many. Clean and clear title, no issues or lights on the dash, professional full detail each season, and touchless in between. New alternator and Toyota battery, backup camera, and GPS. $20,000. Like, I know these things have kind of shot up in value a little bit, but to pay 20 grand, that just seems a bit much, unless you just really have always wanted one of these things, and it, but to be paying 20 grand for one, I feel like it should have like 50,000 miles. Not that the mileage really would matter much on these, because these have the 1GR FE 4-liter V6, and it's really just a 4Runner underneath. It's just like a shorter 4Runner. So, like, I mean, all the reliability of a 4Runner, you'd be pretty good. It's an 07, so it has the updated 1GR. The early ones, I think it was like 2003 and 2004, they had issues with the head gaskets blowing. So if you're looking at an 03 or 04, maybe an 05 4Runner with the 4-liter V6, you want to make sure that that thing has records of having the head gaskets replaced. Otherwise, I wouldn't buy it, because more than likely it's going to be losing coolant. Cylinders 4 and 6, normally I think it would blow between those two cylinders, and you would get coolant in the cylinders, and basically you can put new spark plugs in it. It'll fix it for a little while, but it'll come back. So a lot of times people say, oh, I just need spark plugs, or something like that. But I would say, yeah, if you're looking at a 4Runner or an FJ Cruiser with the 4-liter 1GR, stay away from 2003 to 2005. And that's my 2 cents on that. I think this is a decent truck here. I personally feel like it's just like a little bit too much. What we got here? We got a 2013 X5 for $73,515. It's a very random price. Again, first picture, they're showing the radio. Like, I don't understand why so many people can't figure out how to reorganize their images when they make a listing. That's a very long. Holy crap! Price excludes $399 processing fee. It's just a person. It is not showing that it's a dealer. I don't even want to read all this. It's got a whole bunch of like generic Under the bonnet, you'll find a BMW's legendary inline six. Um, so they just copied and pasted like the Wikipedia article. This doesn't have anything specific about this car. It just has a copied and pasted. Yeah, and this is, again, it's a kind of a fuzzy picture. I don't know. This one's interesting. Car World, and the plate is crooked. It says Car World of Arlington. Where are they? Yeah, okay, well, they're saying Arlington, Virginia, listed 2 weeks ago. And it does look like it has, it's like a legitimate business. 2013, I don't know, I guess that's a fair price. We got what looks to be kind of an OEM Goodyear tire right there. Interior looks pretty good. Panoramic sunroof. Probably a legitimate car that you could go buy for $7,300. But as a lot of you probably know, BMWs, it's expensive to maintain. When you get into the X5, all-wheel drive, all that, this is going to be the twin turbo, or no, this might be the N55, the single scroll turbo. Not gonna, like, if you're able to afford a car for $7,000, it doesn't have $7,000 car maintenance. This car is going to have $60,000 car maintenance, which is what this was originally. This was probably more like 75,000 when it was new. Probably a legitimate car, but just not exactly something that you got to know what you're getting yourself into. All right, this is kind of interesting. They show a picture of the car in the paint booth, masked off, getting painted, for $5,000, 2015 V6 Coupe Mustang, 122,000 miles. Okay, a whole bunch of, that's a Camry. That's not the car. That's another Camry. That's a Mini. All right, I think I'm seeing what we got here. Description. We are doing all type of mechanical and body shop for all cars. Best price in town. No one can compete. Our price. Fast service. We do any kind of paint jobs, full restorations, paint separate parts, complete paint cars, rust fix, rocker panels, collision repair, polished, and buffing, and more. Great prices compared with other body shops. Message me for more details. And then it's in Spanish. You know what? No, it's not. Okay. I almost thought this was somebody that I used to work with. He has a shop in, I think it is Brandywine, Maryland. And this is exactly the kind of a place that he has, and exactly the kind of stuff that he does. And this would look like his wording. So it may be him, but it's just maybe someone else's, maybe this is one of his employees' Facebook. I don't know. But yeah, so they have it listed as a 15 Ford Mustang V6 Coupe 2-door for $5,000, but it's just an ad for its shop. So yeah, okay. I don't know. I guess it works, or they wouldn't do it, right? We got a Honda Fit part out, 1, 2, 3. So that's just, at least they're upfront with what it is. 2012 Dodge Caliber that has snow on it in the picture, and it says it's $1. I call BS on that. This was just listed a day ago. It says it has a manual transmission. By the way, I don't know if you know, but this has got to be one of the worst cars made in the last 15 years or so. I don't think it gets too much worse than the Dodge Caliber. Like this, I remember driving one of these when it was brand new. It was like a loaner or rental for either me or my roommate at the time. And you want to talk about a Fisher-Price interior. I mean, I remember you couldn't move the air vents without the entire vent just flexing and almost feeling like it was going to fall out just to move the air vents. So yeah, I mean, it looks terrible. It's got a whole bunch of damage over here. It does have a plate on it that they took the time to blur out or whatever. All right, it's all in. Let's see. It's in Spanish, but we can translate it. 2012. The Guaga has a small crash on the what? Okay. I don't know what that means. Has a small crash on the right side of the front. The Guaga turns on but turns off quickly and did not have the time to see what it has and also do not have the time for it to do it. You tell me what is your offer. I do not have a price in mind. Saying everything else is okay. Do not waste my time. This information is safe, not scam. Well, it's probably legitimate. It's just that it's a terrible car and it's not worth anyone trying to put any effort into fixing it. This guy is trying to sell it. He doesn't even have the time or want to put the effort in to figure out what's wrong with it. All right, maybe we'll do like 2 more. Let me see. Something that kind of... I guess we'll look at the Baja. Remember these things? I almost feel like this was just a vehicle that came out about 20 years too soon. This is 2006, so it's 19 years old. They don't make it anymore. But now what do we have? We have the Hyundai Santa Cruz, which to me looks almost exactly like this. It's the exact same concept of a car. And we have the Ford Maverick, which, you know, looks a little bit more like a truck. But these really were pretty, they're pretty cool looking, I guess. It looks like that's a manual. Pretty terrible pictures. Yeah, it's a manual. But they want 10 grand for this. 175,000 miles. Okay, it's a dealer, Capital Auto Sales. I'm not saying anything else. I don't think it's worth that, but you know, they're so rare, and there's probably people out there that really like these things. I've always wanted one of these things. If you're like a real Subaru guy or something, or a person, you know, maybe they'll get it, but I doubt it. I doubt they'd get 10 grand for that thing. I would think more like maybe 6 or 7, especially with that kind of miles. All right, one more. So we got to make it worth it, right? All right, let's look at this one. We got a 2000 Honda S2000 convertible. Were any of them not convertibles? I don't even know. Again, I'm not the biggest Honda guy. So I got a video of him driving it. It's got like a, you know, racing steering wheel on it. S2000 is wrapped in yellow. Underneath is black. Runs and drives. Doesn't have any major issues with engine or trans. It's a rebuilt title from being in a flood. Okay, so yeah, we'll continue reading this, but I'm going to tell you not to buy flood cars. The ECU was replaced. Engine was taken out for a complete refresh, meaning new gaskets, valve adjusted. Okay, no leaks. Along with getting a new 10,000 mile transmission, new clutch, and new diff and axles. What needs to be addressed? Soft top has some cuts, needs window switch for windows to go up and down. Engine light comes on for light misfire for having 3 1000cc injectors and 1 stock one. I'm not sure what the... Okay, I guess it needs to have all 4 1000cc injectors. Replacing injectors with OEM ones should fix that. Does idle at 2,000 RPMs either to a vacuum leak or something simple. It's either a vacuum leak, which is simple, or something simple. Car still runs and drives good, doesn't smoke, overheat, or anything like that. They say car still runs and drives good, but it has a misfire. Okay. Some stuff it comes with BC coilovers APR carbon fiber mirrors and wing, battle arrow diffuser, okay, yeah, all right, whatever. All right. So what do they want for this thing? 17 grand. 8 weeks ago. It says 48,000 miles. What does it look like otherwise? Ugh. I don't like those wheels. I don't know that. No, not me at all. Oh God, I know a lot of y'all are probably drooling over this thing, but yeah, no. Anyway, flood cars. I'm glad this one popped up because I know there's a lot of people on YouTube that like to buy flood cars from salvage auctions and things like that. Like when we hear about a flood in Florida, it's like a lot of these guys are buying these cars that have been flooded. I'm just going to say right now, I would never touch a flood car. And the reason why is because it never is going to be right. And if it is right at the moment when you buy it, it will start having problems in the future. And the reason why is that the water that gets into the car is going to corrode connectors and various electrical components that get submerged. You can replace, okay, so in this case, I think it said it had the ECM replaced or an ECU replaced. That was probably one that was really low in the car and got wet and was just completely fried and shorted out. So they put a new one in. But the problem is that inside of those connectors that plug into it, for example, the water got in there. And they might be making a good connection now, but give it 5 years. That water that did not come out of all of those like hundreds of connectors that are in this car anywhere on the interior of the car or even in the outside of the car, that corrosion, that water is going to cause corrosion to continue to grow. And when it gets to a point where it's grown too much, you're going to lose that connection. And then you're just going to have a nightmare one after another because you may chase that one down and you may find it and you may just solder a new wire in there and bypass the connector like I've done many times on customers' cars in the dealership over the years. But it's going to continue to happen. So even if the car is running fine now, it will not be running fine in a few months, a year, 5 years, whatever it is, because of things. So that is my 2 cents on buying a flood car. Just don't. Unless you can confirm by seeing like a water line somewhere, like where you can tell that the water line stopped really low on the car and didn't, creep up to where it gets in the interior of the car. Maybe you can take a gamble, especially if it's cheap enough. But on the whole, I would just say no. The other thing I will just point out is when you have a connectors on your car, all the wiring that is on the inside of the passenger compartment that is always supposed to be dry, those are not weather tight connectors. So any kind of moisture that drips on them is going to get right inside of all the pins and everything. There's no way of keeping that water out. If they're on the exterior of the car, anywhere under the hood, under the body, under the car, they are weather tight connectors. So that means that they can get wet, like as in water splashing on them. That does not mean that they can be submerged in water for who knows how long. It will probably seep in and eventually corrode those connectors. It definitely has a lot more of a resistance to it, but they are meant to be water resistant. If when you drive through a puddle or something and it gets splashed, it'll keep the water out, but it is not meant to be like in a flood submerged for days, weeks, whatever it is. So again, just stay away from flood cars. All right, I guess we said that was always going to be. I guess I'll kind of just scroll through a little bit here. Look at this right here. I just want to look at this one. I actually was looking at buying a Corolla hybrid when I ended up buying my Lexus ES300H hybrid used for about the same money as what a new Corolla cost. But look at this right here. This is a 2020 that has 263,000 miles. Let's just look at the showing it in the snow. It does look like it drove there though. It has pretty fresh tire tracks, but no plates on it. And what were the warning lights? It was saying braking power low, stop in a safe place, secondary collision brake system malfunction. So basically this probably is going to need the ABS actuator, brake booster. These have what I call Hydro Boost brakes, where it's like its own module that has its own pumps and everything that will generate the braking power, so it doesn't use engine vacuum. Pretty much all hybrids have this type of a brake system, and they definitely do go bad in a lot of Toyotas. But you know, okay, it's a 5-year-old car. It's got 263K on it. They still want 8,500 for it though. But it has a clean tittle. Brakes are not working. Yeah, that's that. That's why these lights are on as is, drive smooth. Everything is perfect working. Well, except for the brakes, which is kind of a big thing. You will probably pay, if you go to the dealer, this is probably like, let's see. I think generally the brake boosters were like $2,000 to $3,000 just for the part. And generally anywhere between 5 and 8 hours labor to replace it, depending on the car. I've never done one on this Corolla, so I don't know for sure, because this is a lot newer than the ones that I've done in the past. But you know, the labor rate at the Toyota dealer that I was at was $250 an hour times 8. That's so $2,000 labor, and then you're looking at probably another $2,000 minimum for the part. So $4,000 to $5,000 to fix this car, at least to fix the issue that they are talking about right here, which brings that up to like 13. And you've got a Corolla with 263,000 miles on it. No, that's not worth it. Unless you can do this repair yourself, that one's probably not really going to be that good of a deal. Because guess what? With that kind of miles, it's probably going to need a hybrid battery pretty soon. Yeah, so. All right, guys, I think I'm going to go ahead and wrap this one up right here. I'm just kind of curious to see what you guys think about the video. Like, hopefully it's helpful for some people. I know I kind of am rambling a little bit, but you know, I see a few little things, and you know, hopefully I can kind of point out to some people that may be looking to buy a car, like some things to kind of look out for and kind of have an idea of what, you know, you might be in for. But anyway, if you did find it helpful, I really would appreciate you subscribing to the channel, hitting the like button, and just leave a comment about what you thought about anything that I said, or, you know, any advice that you may have. I'd really appreciate it. But anyway, thanks for watching, and we'll see if we can do this again soon. All right, guys. Peace.